all over the world. I give a walk. Now with it. I'm intelligent and wise. A beautiful woman. Days one, I give a walk. I'm a strong woman. Listen, days woman. The spirit of wisdom is calling, and the voice of unity must answer. Today's woman. Today's woman. Good evening. We're here again. That would join me briefly. Okay, so we are here to have a conversation with you. We will be reaching out to you this coming weekend when we are out there and about. Okay. So, again, we're here to have a conversation with you. Today's open mic. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the phone number up so you have a number to reach if you want to reach us and add your voice. We want you to add your voice. Okay, we want you to ask you for next week, or the week after, we're gonna have a young lady here who ran during the campaign in the district. I don't know what district was that, but I will let you guys know. So I am. This is US, and this is also WhatsApp, so they can be use it also as WhatsApp. WATAPP as WhatsApp. So let me save that. This is the number. You can use it to call in. There go Doc. We have not started yet. You got your hair tie?
Yes. Oh, what happened? What just happened? Something just happened.
I can see you. You're right there.
You can see me? Oh,
Yep, I can
okay.
see you.
Yeah, I am. Yeah. How are you?
I'm good. I'm just loading up. I'm putting the number up just in case people want to add their voices. We're gonna
Mhm.
have open mic minute to talk about just our environment in Liberia. I know we have our own issue here, but what's going on in Liberia?
Sure.
So let's start up.
Yeah. I'm not feeling well, and so you are
We're
not
both
feeling.
not feeling well.
Yes. When we talked this morning, so
Yes,
that's why I have. I didn't have this. I was rushing to get over, so I didn't have time to get here together and all of that stuff. But it's
right.
good to be here, everybody. It's really excellent that Cindy and I can come over here to discuss the issues in Liberia, and we bring a different lens. We bring the lens of a woman.
Mm-hmm.
We are open to others' views. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
we had the experience of, traveling to Liberia together. So we bring a lot to the discussion. We're always looking out for what is happening in Liberia. And when you lived in the United States for the amount of time that you and I have lived here,
Mm-hmm.
um, and we can reflect on the different things that we have seen when we travel. Um,
Right.
I was just thinking, I was thinking about you a couple of days ago, and I was thinking I think we're on our way to Yekepa, you see it, and
Yes.
we're looking at landscape and how we could landscape the different areas, not to change things. I like the traditional housing and everything, but I just kept on, and you kept on looking at me like, look, Doc, if people talk about food and
Oh
the kind
yeah.
of
Oh
issues,
yeah. Oh
and
yeah.
talk about landscaping beautifying, but it was just, I just had memory of that this morning. But yeah, it's really
So
interesting.
thinking about Liberia though. Thank you, sis, for the congratulations. How you call I will be in DC. Actually, I will be in Virginia this weekend and be in PA next weekend. So my week is full. Mentioning the
Absolutely.
last time we asked you to join us and you have not yet comment. Thank you for being here though.
Who? I can't even see it. I'm not even listening to mine.
Yeah, I am looking at it here. So if you're here, please share.
Yes, please share.
Liberia, when you look at Liberia, based on just the physical feature of Liberia, it's a beautiful country. It is a well endowed country. It has everything that any nation would need to prosper. A lot of
Mm,
people don't understand this. Majority of the people who end up coming to America, who made this country their home from the white man's standpoint, from the German to the English, the called them the Salzburger, the Highland Scott, or the from Scotland, all of these people that came, they came for a second chance. They came number one. England wanted this place for raw material. Okay, that's what we have. We have raw material. We have human capital, and we have a small population. We're a very rich country.
yep,
All Liberia needs
5 million people, a little more.
is a leader with a vision and a heart, a picture. I don't know what they say. Got love in their heart. I don't like that word, love in their heart.
You love the country.
Yeah,
Uh,
it has to be someone because when they get love in their heart, most of the time it's there and nothing is happening. There must be nationalistic and vision driven, and there must be people who believe in dignity in labor. All right. I heard a story that I'm going to come to this. People must understand our journey on this particular area is not about a particular person. Okay. It's about creating a new direction. We came from the oligarch. Now we are to the crypto club, whatever they call them.
mm,
Okay.
mm.
People who come together with the interest of looting and leaving the country empty. Cryptocracy. That's not what we want. What we are saying is, yes, all of these people did all the wrong yesterday. But where does it stop? Right? Is that not what we are saying?
Oh, of course.
Where
You know,
does it stop?
yeah,
All right. And you say, let's pay the person by one more time. Then the other group will come and say, let's pay this. We've been doing this for 200 years.
absolutely.
Liberia is a beautiful place. Liberia is a rich country with suffering faces
Mhm.
who don't know where the next meal will come from. So we want your voice today added to this conversation. We want you to call in, if possible, add your voice. What do you think? What are your thoughts on what is unfolding in Liberia? Number one, I understand, number one, the majority of Black is in violation of the Constitution. That's number one. Based on Article 40, because they are one legislature with houses, is bicameral. One legislature, two houses, and they're both supposed to meet in the same locality. These people have been meeting at a hotel, $150 or $200 a day.
Who's paying?
Who's paying for that? If somebody's paying for that, that's also a conflict of interest. If
And
they are
why?
not paying for it,
Yeah, and why can't they go home?
yeah, why can't they go home?
Why do they have to be in a hotel or in an environment where they have to be together to hold their views together? Are they like if you strongly believe in our country? I'm sorry,
Yes.
I didn't mean to interrupt you. You Cindy.
No, go ahead, Doc. Go ahead.
If
Go ahead.
you strongly believe in a country and you strongly believe in your own views and you holding your position on how you feel about an issue, you don't need to be camping with anybody. You don't need to
Yeah.
be, you know, nobody needs to influence you. You know, you should be man or woman enough to say, this is how I feel. This is where I stand, no matter where I am, whether I'm in hotel, whether I'm home, whether I'm on the top of the world. That's how I feel. And it should be about the Liberian people. It should be about that space that we have collectively that we call Liberia. It shouldn't be about one person. It shouldn't be about stealing from our country. So that's why you guys need to go home. You guys need to reflect. And I'm so happy that this went to the Supreme Court. I'm happy that it's going to the full bench of the Supreme Court, you see, as opposed to when the last report that I read for the Supreme Court was Busy, Mr. Busy, right? What his first name? You know him? You said I heard
Baisi.
Bessie.
Baisi, call you people their name.
Bessie.
Baisi. Yami Baisi, yes.
Why how you pronounce it?
Yami Baisi.
Yami.
Yami.
He's from Lima?
Yeah.
That name just it did. I thought I was
And you met him too.
I did?
Yeah. Remember when we went to Peace Hotel, the gentleman that came to
Peace.
greet us and were calling me their wife?
I can't remember. You know what?
So Pape with Lawrence. Lawrence said, "This is my big brother." But
Oh,
yeah.
oh,
Yes.
when we went to the hotel with the women.
Yes,
Oh,
exactly. Exactly.
okay, now I remember the time. It was
Yes.
we went to go speak to a lot of women at the hotel, right?
Right. Exactly.
I forgot that hotel was called Peace Hotel.
Peace Hotel. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yes, I do
Yes.
remember him now. Yeah. So, he was the one that made the first decision, and I don't know how the whole process was materialized, but he said the word he used was he declined. He declined. Um, I don't know. It's getting involved. He just declined, and so now I hope that when I read the last report, it was going to the full bench. So, right?
Right. Well, it is the nation is on its ear. The word is on its ear, and it needs to go because if you know the MCC report that just came out, it's damning. In fact,
Is it?
it is damning. The
They passed it though.
huh?
They passed. Didn't Liberia pass? We feel?
No, I don't think so.
Check it out, sis.
The what I call it rule of law, they feel bad on it.
Oh, okay. Because they were supposed to get like I think a certain amount of pass rate. Like they have to pass a certain
I'm gonna
amount to
look
pass.
again, but I know on the rule of law, they feel miserably.
Yes,
On the rule of
yes,
law,
they did.
feel
They
miserably.
did. There was some of it that they feel badly
Yeah,
on. I'm looking at
yeah.
my
So for people who came to rescue and talk about rule of law, they didn't pass that. So if they
yeah.
pass, I
So
would
let me
look
see.
again.
So they feel fiscal policy. So they
Okay,
feel that this year.
okay.
Inflation, they pass.
They pass what?
Inflation, they pass. So
Inflation, they pass. Yeah.
yeah, they failed regulatory quality.
Okay.
So which means that they don't whatever they're regulating
They're not doing
is not
nothing.
it's not consistent or
No.
the quality of the regulatory the way how they regulate things, the way how they use the law to make things happen. They're
Right.
not doing well. Trade policy, they feel that with
Mhm.
21%. So those were
And they
trade
also fail the rule of law.
Yes, hold on. I'm getting yeah. So
Okay.
the gender in the economy they passed that, which is interesting. Land rights and access they passed that. That's another interesting thing to look at.
Based on what though?
My
Because
dear,
people still stealing people land, people still fighting over land in
that's
Liberia. They
why I'm
still
telling
stealing,
you.
stealing land.
That's
So
why.
I don't know who is collecting the information.
Yeah,
Somebody is not collecting the information correctly. It's not a true statement.
exactly. So access to credit they passed that. Employment opportunity they passed that. I don't know that. I think that was the first time this was mentioned because that's only one score I'm seeing. So they got 100% in that. Um,
Employment opportunity where?
Political rights, they passed that as well. Civil liberties, they passed that. Control of corruption, they passed that.
You know that, you know where is that now? I know where that coming from. Those are supposed to also be verifying their bios. Yeah, I know where that is coming from. We'll talk about it in the back.
Government effectiveness,
Mm-hmm.
they feel that government effectiveness.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So how can you pass corruption but then feel government effectiveness?
But based on what they're talking corruption everywhere, and where did they get that
How
to
can
pass
you pass
corruption?
corruption and feel rule of law? Because that's what they got 47% of rule of law. Freedom of information, they got 96%. So how can you feel rule of law but then freedom of information? Then they fail. This is what they failed health expenditure. Okay, they got 49% health expenditure, which means that they don't even. Somebody made a very interesting argument because about why in the budget they don't allocate enough money to health. They failed education expenditure as well. They failed natural resource protection.
Wow.
Um, sorry, and then girls' primary education they failed that, and child's health they failed. So the person said the reason why they don't allocate enough money to the budget for education health is because we are getting donor money from other places. Does that argument make sense to you?
No.
Because other people giving out money, so we can allocate
But
our own.
if the donor money though, it still needs to be captured in the budget. It's not free.
Well, that's why we don't
But the
allocate.
thing is though, and that because somebody gave you something, you're not prepared for your children. So why are we lacking behind? Because if the donor money we're depending on, it's
That's
not working.
that's the point that I'm trying to say. Why are we?
It's not working.
You started opening up the show by saying we have such a beautiful country with a lot of natural resources.
Yes.
So why are we relying on? We don't allocate money for health education,
Especially
like
education. That's how you change
health,
your nation.
health and education.
Knowledge is how you change your nation. Yeah.
Exactly. So because other people give other money, so our education and our health
It's
sector
depending on handout.
are controlled, yes, and depending on handout. Yes, you're so right. Yeah, but yes, you did. They did feel the rule right earlier. They feel the rule of law.
They needed to fail miserably because everything we're looking at, they failed.
Yeah, and
I'm
then
sorry.
I don't know how they managed to pass some other things like they controlling corruption, but then they failed government effectiveness.
So
So
if they're not effective, how they're able to control? That's a contradiction.
of course, that's how I feel. You know, um, if your government is not effective in observing, monitoring, calling out corruption and other illegal practices. So this FCC is interesting. That's why I don't like to put a lot of
At this point in my term, in my thinking faculty, that
uh,
just looking at the way things are done, I guess the older I get and the more I'm open to hear and see and or just observe and analyze,
mhm.
things are not what they seem.
No, they're not.
Yesterday I was not feeling well. I think you can see my nose is getting clogged, and I came out here because and I'm not going to go into that because you told me not to talk, so I'm not going to
That's
talk about it.
right.
And
Yeah.
I came on here fire wall. I have over 4,000 people watch
Wow.
that video.
That people are fire and war. They
No,
don't like peace.
they like drama.
They don't like peace.
And I know that when they call, I got this money. Don't say anything. I intend not to. I'm done. But the thing is, yeah, we are having a concrete conversation, okay? And yesterday was just
I know that they crying, they crew because you are saying you be asking me something. You got cool blood.
no that
That they,
they cry.
they cry. I think that they cry.
But
What else?
people are fasted too that they see cry
Oh,
people.
of course,
Yes,
of course.
yes.
It is
The
amazing.
amount of people come or give people are like cry people. They don't.
They
That they
don't
see
take.
avoiding.
Uh,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
and I told
mhm,
you, of course, you knew my whereabouts yesterday and what, and I think
yes,
when
yes,
when we
yes,
talked later that night,
yes.
and I was like, you see, I don't
Yes.
know what's going on in it, but we know we had a good discussion this morning, and that's what's
Yeah,
going to be
we did. We did.
our focus today. It's
Yes.
on us and the Liberian people, and on
Yes.
how can we do better.
Yes.
Yesterday is yesterday. We can't
Mhm.
change what happened yesterday. We'll
So,
stay right in the here now. But yes, so let's
I-
let actually I want to say something on this MCC. So I recall
okay.
during George Weah uh government,
Mhm.
I think I recall Samuel Toy saying, "Oh, did he was kind of boasting in his regular voice. You know what it took for us to get through the MCC. I had to get these numbers to the people because the MCC is actually headed by the Ministry of Finance. Whoever
Mhm.
they had the MCC, so they
But
have to,
they feel for the whole time they were there,
yeah,
except for the last year,
yeah. I think they passed
and
one
they
time,
barely passed the last year.
yeah. But so he was saying that. So this is how the number works. Our ministry and some of our people send these numbers. Okay, I
Mhm.
don't know if it's fuzzy math that they can be using when they send these numbers to these to maybe the United States, these Harvard, Princeton, you know,
Mhm. Mhm.
California University or whatever.
Mhm.
We send these to these guys, and so
I'm gonna research that how the MCC works, how the schooling is done,
yes,
just
please do.
outside of their page. Yes.
Yes,
Mhm.
I think I read a little bit and I saw that they come up with the formula, but
Mhm.
somebody has to provide the numbers to them, and that our government has to provide the numbers to them. So, depending on the numbers we provide to them, that's why when we get the score we get. That's how I feel about it. So, but yes, if you find anything, let's discuss it. But I did some initial studies. I think last day I was curious about the process, and that's what I learned about it.
So maybe we need to find out to come back to educate our people. But today we wanted to talk about. I mean, if you still want us to talk about that, that's fine. We wanted to talk about um, due process to all citizens,
Mhm.
not
Yeah.
just big names.
Yes.
We hear Liberians say when you go to court, now the people throw sign, and then your own case will go against you.
But Matia, you see, are you surprised? Think about, you know what? Let's think about all the women who have lost cases that we thought that they could have won easily because of somebody violating them, and they had evidence, and they never won. Think about that. Think about this lady who you and I talked about several times,
Hmm.
who
Hmm.
she violated, put stuff
Yeah,
in
rape
her.
in the broad daylight, in
Yes,
days away, like,
yes.
and they were, and the thing is,
Nothing came out of that
this
case.
new government has said nothing.
Mhm.
All the people like that girl, Siafa sister, from the
Mhm.
three missing boys who were
Exactly.
on Facebook running back and forth that Bwaka were going to get them justice. I haven't heard one word about those missing boys.
Nope.
I heard nothing about what do you call it, Princess Cooper. I
Nope.
heard nothing about the
Matthew Ennis.
beheading and then the murder of the what do you call it, the auditors. Nothing. The case to be reopened. We are yet to hear one word.
So now let's come. Then you telling me say when they go to court they can win the eye or whatever. It's this it's the system we have. Unfortunately, you know,
So
unfortunately. So this is why. So when you
mhm,
we'll move up to due process. This is why we really got to pray and hope and keep talking that our constitution prevail, the rule of law, as we have said on this show. You see there when we speak
yes.
privately, that's what we want for our country, because
Mhm.
when you start to break down the rule of law in the country, you are promoting lawlessness and nobody is safe. Today
Yes.
may be, the speaker. Tomorrow it might be another person. It might be another person. And it might be another person. We know the story. We know how that happens. So yes. So when people who just in an organization, when we have the rule of law that says that you need 49 members, your own rule that is consistent with the Constitution.
Mhm. Has to be consistent with the Constitution.
Yep, the final law of the land. Their own rule. You give it to them when they take an oath to protect our country,
Hmm.
the people of Liberia, to respect the Constitution, to also take an oath to abide by the rule of law.
The rule of law is
Yeah.
yes.
But then they get there and money, money passing, positions passing. Time. You see, I will tell you something. I was reading the rule of law. I'm sure I probably pass it to you.
Hmm. Go ahead.
I was I was so surprised to know the benefits, and this is why I think all of this is what is contributing to people wanting to have their way and not the way of the rule of law.
The rule of law, yeah.
Yeah, they want to have their own way. They want to say these people are entitled. If you're a speaker of the house, you deputy speaker, you are entitled to, I think, about 4 or 5 personal staff or
Yep.
cook.
Yep.
I was like, oh, I will show you. I definitely will show you what I saw.
Cook, driver,
Mhm.
housekeeper,
Yes,
yard boy, yard girl,
yes,
somebody to draw water. Yeah.
yes. I, I, and so is that may be a factor where that they want to have those privileges in life without even working hard or
Mhm.
thinking about it.
And they're not working for the people.
Yes.
That's my thing. My thing is,
Hmm.
how do you pay a nation of almost 6 million people?
Correct.
300 plus thousands of them, I mean, 3.5 million of them live in abject poverty.
Hmm.
Okay. Over 300,000 of your young people are addicted to drugs due to lack of opportunity and depression and the remnant of the war so far. Okay.
Hmm.
And they hire you to create a place that
Hmm.
everyone can coexist and we have opportunity to create opportunity for them. But they hire you and you just pay, you say you make laws just to that when the Liberian people are ready to stand up to these people, they will move them. They will
But what
decide that.
time? We're so
I
slow.
don't know. I don't know when would be the awakening moment. I don't
Hmm.
know.
But yes.
I don't
Yeah.
know because
You know, I think we have the Stockholm syndrome going on with us where we are in love with our abusers.
it has to be. I mean, that's the only thing I can see because you cannot give where you don't have. You can't say you love somebody and the
Hmm.
person is mistreating you and you say you love them.
Hmm.
You cannot, the Bible says love your neighbor as yourself. You
Yeah.
first have to love yourself before you can love your neighbor. If you must give love to somebody else, love have to be with you. You can't be drowning. Then you say you're saving people. Your
Yep.
children can be dying, you're begging in other people inboxes, or you're going to the next door neighbor. Then you sinking so and dancing in the street for somebody else who can fly on the fly, or who, when they get sick, they can be airlifted either to Europe or to America, or they can easily get on the plane to go to Ghana, and you have no means, and you say you love them, and these are the people you elected to stand for you. Today, I was listening to the boy Monk,
Hmm.
and he said, "I don't care about." He said, "None of those people are in the interest of Liberia.
Hmm.
They're not." And then he chronicled about this man, how he was the one as a seasoned lawyer who wrote the resolution to have Kabina General removed, was the same one who was the head of the investigation for the Big Ball 1, Big Ball 2, and had the twisted it, and all the other things that he chronicled.
Hmm.
And that those are all facts. But what we are saying is that's why the country is where it is. Where do we go from here? How do we redirect? How
Hmm.
do we recalibrate and create a better nation.
Mhm.
Today, LU is shut down. This
Yeah,
is this is this is successive government. Every government that come in the last 40 years, they will shut down LU.
I'm telling you.
Children going to school, our kids that started school 4 years ago, at the same time that LU students started school, they kids, most of them are graduating, going to jobs or going to get their graduate degrees. Most of their kids don't even have 20 credit hours yet.
Yeah, it's so
So
right.
So how then do the country progress? Like they were telling me that they
Mm-hmm.
did a research or some they compiled some information about the education system in Liberia for readiness, and they found out that most of the people were not even qualified to
Yeah,
teach.
I do.
And,
I
and,
read.
the, and the people say, but how do you get qualified teacher? Who going to go to school all their life for you to pay them $40 to go sit down in a classroom that don't even have light, don't have place to poo poo or pee pee, don't have benches?
Yes, I read that report you sent it. I think, in fact,
You must please send it to me.
I will. Front page Africa is probably a summary of the report is in Front Page Africa, and they said that a lot of the times, 85% of the teachers cannot pass the test that they administer. They are giving a test to students, and they cannot pass their own test. And there were a couple of things that I took away from the article. They said that we would rather talk about, because in the budget they talk about renovating the schools that are there. We would rather talk about renovating over substance. We don't want to know the substance of how the children are critical thinking, what they are learning, you know, how they can use what they are learning, their ability to think. We don't want to know all that, but we will get one new schools. They said that we want compliance. Just comply by what the donor said. Just comply by what the authority in the class say. You go sit down, you go sit down. Share more, you share more. Say SOSO, you say SOSO. Say ABC, you say ABC. Over competence.
Wow.
It's not how you it's you just singing the song. You just like how they can sing the national anthem.
SSO Giogo
Hey,
Giogo He.
there you go. We're just singing root memory over
Yep.
competence. So there's compliance over competence, okay? There's excuses. We're making excuses all the time. I saw our education budget in today's world, where is today 2024, we will soon be in 2025. There, I didn't see any number allotted to technology. You see, you the one in school. I in school here too myself. We cannot operate without the modern technology. We are, we still depend on blackboard in our country. Do you know that, right?
Blackboard and chalk.
Yes.
Blackboard and chalk.
And the children,
I have pointers for my projector.
yes.
Okay. I have pointer for my projector. I
Mhm.
have different, maybe 5, 6 different applications that my kids have to access information. The children have information at the fingertip. In fact, I have kids in my class who we call ML, multi language learner,
Of
who
course.
we have to do something called text engineering. We have to create different work for them, and we have to have immersive reader. We also have our ML readers where the text can be changed into their dialect or their language.
Of course. It's a matter of inclusion. A matter of inclusion, that the world has learned that. And I teach that, and I think in my diversity course, that the brain is actively stimulated when another language is introduced to you at a very early age, or even sometimes at a later age. It causes a change in the function of the brain,
It
because
does.
you are able to switch. You are able to be more adaptive. You are able to be more understanding. And is a plus,
Yeah,
for
but
people who
but
are.
you see, that's why in America people emphasize and say, "Oh, the person learned two languages before they were so and so age. They learn classical language. They do this." American people are big about that, emphasizing because it stimulates your brain. In
Because
our country, that's a problem. The things that we are anti of because we don't understand. I don't get it.
I want us to meet, if in Liberia today, the children should maintain their languages. I believe that we should have a common way of communicating with each other. We should choose a language that we
But
can.
but that's and that has you build a nation. When a nation has a common thread, I'm not talking about how you call it. You see in Ghana,
Mhm.
Ghana people, they will quicker speak Twi to you
Of course, they
than they
have.
will speak English to you.
They need to. Mhm.
In the market, everybody, even the Liberians that went to Ghana, could speak Twi.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. And that's what I think our lawmakers should be focusing on. They should be encouraging the development of laws in our country that are for the people, by the people, and of the people. They should be able to produce. They are lawmakers, they are representatives. Okay, they're supposed to have oversight and the oversight is to make sure that the executive branch is proposing what is good for the country to the
That is
country.
correct. And they're supposed to challenge the budget if it's not in the interest of the people. But that they're not doing so. So long they get their cut, like they want what they're proposing, 800 million. You know why? That 800 million, your watch my word, like when people that are
Mhm.
listening, they will bring it. When the people see what inside, their own inside, then they will come back and recast. Liberia is the own, we live in a country with trillions of dollar budget. I
Mhm.
never heard this country since I've been here for 30 years say they're recasting the budget.
Yeah, so
You don't
and
know what you're going to need?
yes, so we don't give enough money for education, because if we did, if we prioritize education, why would the universities I mean the country's number one university, the University of Liberia, why would I be shut down right now?
Exactly. Then
And
they say they're renovating. Ma, we don't renovate our school during school time. Remember, even during the corona, by the time our children went to school, because they needed to have spatial classroom, those
Mhm.
people would have built my daughter high school. They built another layer on it. Our schools they were renovated while we were away. Our schools are usually renovated over the summer when school closes or doing break.
Yes, but even if you're doing renovation, tell the public, talk about it. Okay, rearrange the children's education into another building, another classroom. Think wisely.
Exactly.
Okay, look for
Exactly.
the
Opportunities. Yes.
classrooms that don't need renovation, because maybe everything needs renovation. Not everything needs renovation, but the classroom that don't badly need renovation, you start from there first, and then when you finish with the other classroom, you move the students in the other classroom
Correct.
to get it done. But to tell you the truth, you see, my heart of hearts, think that LU should be shut down for a year. They need more than just physical renovation. They need a revamp. That's how I feel about it. I think that university has been existing for so long without the proper people to teach. They need to start vetting new staff. They
So
need
so
to.
that here you go though. The people just added a PhD program.
Jesus. I've been avoiding that conversation because do you know what it takes to how it's a process. Hi sis Letty, how are you doing? It is a process, first of all, Cindy. It is a process. In this country, you and I know, before we even start a new program at the university, you have to go through the state
Yep.
recognition. Then you have
Yep.
to go through the different other accrediting bodies,
Hmm.
the state regulation, because other interested parties, like we call it in the Middle States in Pennsylvania. That's not the Department of Education. That's just an organization that was probably established by the Department of Pennsylvania to look at the accreditation process. Then, in my case, being a psychologist, we have to go through the National American Psychological Association. They also have to
Association.
go
I got one of
through.
your books here. Let me bring it. Let me bring your book.
Yes. So once you do all of that, it's not something that would just take 6 months. It takes at least a year, and they will give you conditional permits before you get started because they have these requirements that a doctor program has to abide by. Yep, I got that very book too. That's
Yeah.
exactly, and so that's how you write. You can't just write paper
Mm-hmm. Yep.
and you just write. This is sometimes yeah. I was talking. I think yesterday we were talking about you have to cite your reference. You can't
Yep.
just get up and just speak. And there's different ways of citing your references. There's
Mm-hmm.
in-text references.
Yep.
There's references that you put at the end of the paper. Then there's
Yep.
different way. And if you have more than 2 or 3 authors, you have to reference them differently.
Mm-hmm.
If it's in a book, if it's in an article, or if they
Article. Yep.
not published documentation
Yep.
yet.
Yep.
And those are the things that you got to be prepared for. So you talking about you have a PhD, you see, to I just do have a.
I mean, that is it not a contradiction. You just say you're gonna have a PhD at your school. All of a sudden, the school is shut down for renovation.
Yeah. And then so some people can argue, oh, we got Harvard. I'm just using that name. Oh, we got MIT. They will be running the program. And my question is that you know why they will do it? Because you don't have no regulation. Because you probably begging them, and they will do anything that they want to do for their good, not for our good.
Exactly.
It looks good
Yes.
on Harvard website and webpage to say, "Oh, we're having a center program in Liberia." It looks very good.
Mm-hmm.
And
And they're gonna reap that. They're gonna benefit.
Harvard gets money.
And not only that, third world country, they're
Yeah,
experimenting. They use our people there for guinea pigs.
of course.
But you know,
No, exactly.
at this
So
point, like we need to be focusing on technical stuff. What do we have that we can produce that can add value to our country? We got diamonds. Get people to get into rock cutting, not just as if rock, because diamond are rock. Get
yeah,
people that understand how gold works, how you can manufacture it and store it. Get in and open a part of a college for maybe botany. I think that's what it's called for trees. Okay, that's what you need to, because that's what we have. That's the raw material that we have. That what we can use to add value to our nation. And when we export, that's what they call mercantilism. We
you
export more than we import. That's what Liberia needs. When you give them the information, oh, you jealous. Y'all don't listen. Y'all get this bonehead and call them leaders,
mhm.
okay, who only know how to talk. They have no idea how to build a nation.
You see, isn't it interesting? So I share with you, a house today, and the first thing you said, "Oh my God, look at!" I mean, they are still, and when you talk about the need of what should be done in our country, look how they are still building the houses like the way they built in 1950. You
And
know,
and and, and that's what we're talking and say. When you build a house, people don't understand because of the body have its own order. Whether you put road or you don't, because we are dust. That's why when you wear clothes, no matter how you take bath, it don't matter you're white or you're black. That's why you have to wash clothes.
yeah,
Okay. So with Liberia, where you don't have 24-hour electricity, air conditioning, ventilator, you need windows. You
correct.
need your door need to be wider. Your
Yes,
window need to be more. Even if that means you need to put screen on it and stuff, do, because then you have natural air circulating in the house. The air not going. And
yeah.
especially if you're gonna have toilet in the house,
And
then
it's
all the
healthy,
stain will not be in the house. Okay.
very healthy.
Everything will circulate, the air will take it outside because you're gonna have ceiling. So you will not have a vent that that will be sucking the air. So you will need a wider window to
But
be able to get some air.
and it
They
goes
don't,
back to your conversation. Why are we not having these students learning how to build things like cementing?
because everybody building stuff, it will take time for you to. It's hard work to get rich if you have a company,
Yeah,
unless you're
you
stealing
know,
from people.
um,
But if you're going into government, you can get rich. How in heaven that in a country with that kind of budget, you pay minister $100,000+ a
mm,
year? What they're worth?
I'm
What
telling you.
value addition are they bringing to the country? What they're adding? The money they stole the other day to pay these people to try to remove a lawmaker, the way to replace it now is to force everybody to buy fire extinguisher. Why would a motorbike driver need fire extinguisher? What is the role of the fire department? Why do they have a budget? Why do they have over $500,000 budget?
And the interesting thing about
And
it,
you're asking car driver to get fire extinguisher in their car. American
yes,
government don't ask me. They never ask me for fire extinguisher. If I put it, the only time they put there, if you got people with disability and you have license to carry them around, and our car have to be equipped with first aid kit and all of those blanket and then fire extinguisher. That's the only time. Beyond that, you can't ask individual to have fire extinguisher. Do they know how to use it? You're going to treat them how to use it. What is the essence of that?
and the thing, what was even surprising
Jesus.
that story, you see, the what surprising is that so they want you to buy one every year as if there's an expiration date on the extinguisher, or anytime they put a
I
roadblock
got
up
fire
there.
extinguishers in my house, everywhere, in the basement, upstairs, downstairs, in each of the room.
And
That's for my own safety. I don't
and
buy it every year. It had not expired. Some of them spend 2, 3 years. That's not the way you. That's not the way you make money. That's stealing from the people. That's suffocating the people. But when
and
will like when people stand up?
yes,
When?
and you see, I didn't verify this information. It's something that I read on the social media, and I'm sure you read it too. There was this guy who they actually pulled him over, and he had all his documents correct. He had his, his license, his registration, everything. So he couldn't understand why the line was so long. Like most people, they have their, or they now know this process that it will be pulling him. So this time around, they told him that he had to go to the fence. He had to go in the fence. So the guy said, "But I have all my documents here. Usually when I have all my documents here, let me go." So they said, "No, today, sir." They just kept on giving the direction. Usually, he said he usually puts up a fight, but he said on this day, he said, "Well, I'm not going to fight. I got all my documents correct." And the whole idea was, he said when he went into the fence, there were a lot of cars in the fence, and then the idea was, in order to get out, they started charging them Liberian
What?
dollar that day. Yes,
How
so
much?
I forgot how much he said. Maybe like 200 or 300 Liberian dollars. Imagine all those cars they were pulling over and sending to the fence because they realized that Liberian people have caught on now. They are smart. They're not paying for fire extinguisher. They got all the documents correct. So they want to make money off you some kind of way. And they will pull you. The story was on social media. And so now he said, before you get out of the fence now, they will ask you for money. So you have to pay now to get out of the fence. If you don't pay, you can't get out. And he said he was just
That's
so.
forced imprisonment.
But who you tell that one that to? So he had to pay. I believe the end of the story, he had to pay out. I didn't take his name down or anything, but it was very credible.
You should
Actually, it
have
was,
called some of those talk show and talk about it. All the talk show that he can call.
yes. Wait, I'm going to read that. I'm going to actually. It would be good for our people to hear the story. It was on actually. It was on Wedding's page. She had shared the information. So
Wow.
so it's deeper. I mean, it's some way for people to just make money off our Liberian people. But again, if we can bypass due process, the people who are supposed to be making the law, if they're breaking the law, then why anybody else can do what they have to do? Why other people can send other people to a fence or a gate and say you gotta pay us before you get outside, even though breaking the law is against the law. Yeah.
So we're hearing that the full bench will be hearing the story
Hmm.
that the people need to
Oh, let
return
me read
to.
this. I just want to story. I can share it. Let me
Okay.
share with you. I just found it on there you go, on her page. Yeah, I read it to a couple. His name is Jonathan Sokoti.
Jonathan Sokoto.
Hmm.
Wow.
Yes, and I'll share with you. I'm sharing it to your WhatsApp page so you can see how we are abusing our own people, making rules and laws that you shouldn't even be. Somebody be saying that kind of thing. Somebody should be having a heart attack and be so shocked and say, "No, you can't do that. Somebody should stop you." But it seems like everybody's playing along to get along. Say, no, no, that does
Jeez.
not sound right. That does not, you should say, so that doesn't sound right.
Wow. I see it yet. I'm waiting.
I'm coming, I'm sending there.
Wow.
You stop talking.
Wow. So Liberia is just on a autopilot.
I was
What a
very shocked.
rescue for real. Mm.
I was very, very shocked when I saw heard that you said it.
Nothing surprises me anymore when it comes to Liberia and
Yeah. Yes. Go. I just sent it to you. And let me say he says, let me read this to the audience. This is from this Liberian guy. He lives in Liberia. His name is Jonah So Cutty.
uh-huh.
He said, every morning I passed through 3 inspection checkpoints on my way to town. Every three.
But why they having inspection check when we're in a war zone?
That's a good question. Feeling like a contestant on Liberia's version of the checkpoint challenge. So you gotta go. You have to have a sense of humor because he said today's episode future a surprise twist at the NTA. Oh God.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm watching, I'm listening.
Yeah, hold on, and I do something like crazy mess, and I can go back. I don't know why my yeah. So he said, I roll up as usual, armed with my stack of documents, like a kid prepared for a show and tell. So you have to have all these documents of you. The inspection team flagged me down, asking me to see my insurance stickers, insurance registration, vehicle registration documents, fire extinguisher and certificate, and driver's license. So those are the things they require, which is okay. That's normal. You shouldn't get pulled up by the police or something. You just have to show those things, right? He said, honestly, all that was missing was my birth certificate and a letter from my village chief. He's making fun here. So they
Wow.
wanted his vehicle registration, fire extinguisher, insurance stickers, insurance registration. And he says, being a law abiding citizen, which we expect our Liberian people to be, I pulled over far from the road, thinking better safe than in someone's way. So he went on the side. He was saying, let me just count on the sides before somebody, hit me or something. But oh no, the transport lady wasn't having it. She pointed dramatically to the NTA fence and declared, park your car in that fence before we inspect it.
Jesus.
Now, I didn't love the idea of parking inside their territory. It felt like walking into a lion's den
Yeah.
on a stick. I politely said, no, thank you, madam. Let's do this here. Her response, long story short, I was coerced inside like a goat being led to you know what. After a full inspection, they found nothing wrong. My documents were flawless, shining better than a fresh coat of paint on Benson Street. I thought I was free to go. But then I noticed a long queue of vehicles at the exit. Curious, I walked over and discovered the plot twist. Every vehicle had to cough up $800 LRD, Liberian dollar, 800 LRD before leaving the NTA fence. So that's how they had to pay now. The drama in that queue could rival a Nollywood blockbuster. So that drivers were arguing, here were flying all over. Some people clutching their heads in disbelief. Everything was happening. People were just mad because they got to pay the 800 LRD at the gate, as I said to you. Apparently, this was the setup. The inspection team sweet talks you into the fence. You got to go into the fence, knowing your papers were fine. Then they hit you with the exit fee like a bad plot in a Netflix series. Imagine the haul if 100 vehicles arrive daily, each paying 800 LRD. 100 vehicles, 800 LRD. So at the rate of what? It's 2, 4, 6,
$400.
400, 400, 400, 400 American dollars, right? Because like 180, 190 the rate.
No, it's around. Let's just assume I'm gonna assume it's around about almost around that $4 US.
Yeah. So $4. So $4.
Mm,
That for 100 people.
mm,
That $400 right there. That person
yeah,
making what I did.
yeah,
Imagine if they did it every day now.
yeah.
So that's a business model any MBA student would envy. My argument, oh gosh, I lost the page again, people. Well, but you get the gist of the story, and I send it to you. So this is somebody who live in Liberia. This is his experience with fire extinguisher, and I don't know who he is. He said my argument was simple: check documents outside. If they're valid, let us go like free birds. If they're not, impound the vehicle. But
It's,
don't lure us into your fence. Confirm we have complaint, then shake us down for 800 LRD as if leaving is a privilege. It's not a nightclub. We are not paying a cover charge to exit.
wow.
Yep. Yeah. Well, you
But
see,
he made light of it though. Although it's sorrowful, but he made it seem funny, which is not funny. Just
it's
know
not funny.
somebody who maybe that was the last gas money that they took from them or the last money for the food. Now when people ask, you're not getting paid, so why you're going to work? They're getting paid from other people pocket. The same people that struggling along with them, they're sucking them dry. That's it. Fish,
Exactly.
eating fish. I mean, that's it. Yeah, that's so we're
Yes,
here.
that's you still closing. Is an hour, right?
Yes, yes, it's time to close. Again, we're here. I'm gonna we're
Well, if you
here.
want to take
We
phone calls,
huh?
we didn't, if you want anybody want to call in, that's
Yeah, anybody want to call, the number is here. You can add your voice.
because we didn't do that. But and then we also just
Yes,
want to tell you guys thank you for joining us.
yes.
I don't feel great. That's what I would have made a choice to say, but
Yeah,
I
I
put
don't
in
either. You
a
know,
hot
that's
cup of tea,
what do. Yeah.
and then go. But it was good. I can't wait to see.
We'll be hanging out this weekend, folks. Join
Yeah,
us.
yes,
Um,
you see lots of us.
yeah, yes, exactly. We'll be all over the place. I can't
Yeah,
wait. Yeah,
it would be
so
great to see family members. I can't wait to see the girls, your girls.
yes, yes,
Some big
the-
auntie hugs
yes, yes.
and some big
So I
auntie
want to,
kisses.
yeah. And when I get back, all heck will be going loose with school. Will be finals. Every circle of the place will be final first semester, any first semester, any going to second semester. Target fly, we're almost at the end of the year.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Well, I will be working throughout. Like you told me, I'm gonna play one of your your playbook, your play for your playbook. I'll be working. I said yes, thank you. That's because
Yes, we will be. I
I
mean,
work.
we'll make the time. Maybe the guys can go hang out a little bit.
Oh
Let's
yeah,
them bring and go hang out a little bit.
yeah,
Yeah.
they will. I mean, and work once we get your computer work, always with us your phone or
Yes.
something.
Yeah.
Well, while we're
Yes.
talking, will be the conversation, but we'll be focusing on other things.
You know,
Uh,
that's the new thing I like is now I can take my laptop anywhere and work anywhere. That I
of
don't have to be
course,
calling for them to connect me. They just have the authentication. They just send a code to my phone, and I'm able to access my system. So I like
that's
that. It's cool. Yeah.
yes, that's very helpful.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm scheduled to do a diversity, equity, and inclusion training
Mhm.
December 17th. So I need to be working on that. I'll be
But
working
how you
that.
gonna do that? How you gonna do that from Liberia? Oh,
I'm
you
not, yeah, I'll still be here.
you'll still
Yeah,
be here. Okay, you'll still be
yeah,
here.
yeah.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
even if that was if that's the case, I'm international worker now. I can work from home.
Yeah. Yeah. You're used to that. I'm learning that.
Yeah.
I am learning that. Then my thing is like, every
Uh-huh.
time I change grade level and then they change the books and you gotta start all over again. You gotta recap and everything. So
That's true.
yeah,
You
it
know,
is.
that's actually you're so right. I told you we use Moodle as our primary
Yeah.
board, and of course, every year they have to upgrade. There's new things you can do, like you make your grade
New
book.
feature that you have to, yeah, you have to learn. Yeah.
You got to take special classes and that stuff. And
Yeah.
sometimes, and you got to take those classes one or two times to be able to get it. I mean, it's to the point like usually I used to like to show videos in my class, so which I got to
Mhm,
learn now this
mhm.
break how to do that because they changed the system. I can't show any video in my classes now. But that's besides the point. Let me just go ahead. I will close and then you close, or you want close and then I close.
I'll close. Let me acknowledge a few person here.
Sure, go
Sister
ahead.
Nan, thank you for being here. Sis Ruth, Mansfield, my brother, Sekou, Kuma, Darius Greenfield, Sis Nora, Sifa Todd, Prince Fena, Sis Doris Thompson, Sis Nessico, that's a gladiator right there. Ropi Lee, Olen, Ropi Len, Sis Marie, Sis Letty,
Yeah.
um, yes, Brother Nyakwe Gege Boma, Sis Rebecca Bowen. Yeah, thank you so much for being here. We both are sick. We just came to have a conversation with you. We know there's a lot boiling in Liberia. But yeah, we hear from you. We're trying to get back on the air. We're working on things. Yeah, Liberia business where we were airing um the time due to gasoline in that area. Apparently, the Liberian government owed too much. So we're managing.
Good
But we'll
man.
be back on the air where we all can talk together. Okay. You have a good day. Thank you so much for tuning in. And the people in Liberia, hopefully you can listen to us. We miss you guys. We look forward to resuming really soon. And that I can't wait to see you. Good. Hopefully.
Yes. Yes. Guys, want to just tell everybody again, thank you for joining us. It's always a pleasure when you, Cindy and I, can get together to speak about Liberia. We know that all of you guys have a strong interest, and this is why you come. Although we didn't have a major topic to discuss with you today, but I want you to stay tuned. I want you to let's watch out for what's going to happen this week. We know that the Speaker of the House went to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court, the full bench, is expected to announce if it is legal or anti constitutional for the anti-rule of law individuals. That's how I call them. They want to call themselves something else, but I call them the anti-rule of law individuals, to
Yeah.
see if they can go ahead and elect their own speaker for a small country like Liberia. We got two speakers now. This is why some people can argue that why are we giving God a hard time? And
Yeah.
when imagine in my life, and I don't even know about my father, if he was alive, he's where he is right now. He's probably ruling over, thinking, a small country like Liberia, why in the world would you have like two groups of people trying to say that they're running our House of Representatives? So stay tuned. Let's be very mindful. This is not about an individual. It is about the rule of law. And I'm sure, Yesenia, you can attest to this. There's an old story that says, they came for the
The
Germans.
Jews?
Well, it was the Germans first, right? And nobody said nothing.
No, but it was the German who were coming. They came for the Jews.
Well, okay. Well, nobody said anything, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
And then who they were the next group of people they came for?
The trade union.
The trade union. Okay, I thought they came for because they were, yeah. And the more that we don't say nothing, my point of the story is they came for individuals first, and nobody said nothing. They came for the trade union, nobody said nothing.
Mm-hmm.
They come for the in the states, you know, in the where we live. They came for a certain group, the black people. Nobody said nothing.
Mm-hmm.
They came for the Jews, and you see what happened. We had a whole concentration camp that lasted for years, killing many Jews. They come for the Palestinian, nobody said nothing.
Yeah, you were right. The first they came for the socialists. I was not socialist, so I said nothing.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's
Then
what
they
I
came for
said.
the Jews. Then they
Yes,
came, yes. Mm-hmm.
yes.
Yep.
So the more that we don't say anything,
Mm-hmm.
the more that every one of us are impacted.
Yep.
Because when somebody come for you or you Cindy, there'll be nobody to talk for you because
Mm-hmm.
everybody that was talking went before you.
Yep.
But, and so there'll be nobody to talk for you. So that's why we come here and we talk.
Yep.
Go ahead, you see, you can end my story for me, but I know I missed
No,
the
no,
story.
that's that. It said first,
Mm-hmm.
they came for the socialists. For I was not a socialist, so I did not speak out.
Mm-hmm.
Then they came for the unionists because I was
Mm-hmm.
not a unionist. I did
Mm-hmm.
not speak out.
Mm-hmm.
And then they came for the Jews,
Mm-hmm.
and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. Then
Mm-hmm.
they came for me, and there was no one left to speak for me.
That's right. And that's the story. So stay in touch with
Yes,
Liberia. Let's talk about the rule of law. Keep your ears and eyes open for what's going to be happening in the coming week. And we'll keep talking. Even
yes.
even if people who are not supposed to take over our country or violate our country, that will not shut us down, right? You see it?
No, it wouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
No, it wouldn't.
And more
And
reason.
let me make this point, and that I know you we gotta go. Let me
Mm-hmm.
say to all of you, we will
Mm-hmm.
speak out. Although we are women who believe in, hey Alan, who believe in women being given an opportunity to change our
Mm-hmm.
word. That we, when we sit in the classroom, when we go for tests, when we test for lessons and all of that, the tests are not adjusted based on our gender.
Nope.
Okay. And if we want to live in a word that we are treated with love and respect,
Mm-hmm.
you cannot ask for what you have not given.
Yep.
So if I must speak for women, if I must hold men accountable, we have to hold ourselves and our sisters accountable. That's how I see it.
Amen.
That's
Amen.
just how I see it. And
Mm-hmm.
that's where I'm gonna leave it.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, Destiny. We'll talk later, okay? Because your
Okay,
other
Mama.
niece
Good
here,
night. Good
she
night,
asked me to
everyone.
be here.
Bye, Alan. I owe you a call, sweetheart. Here we go.
Okay, I'll